So guys, I don't know how this actually flew basically right past me, but in the last days, they actually updated the leak list. It's nothing too big, but I wanted to actually bring to you because it may be, old news, but still it is an update on the leak list itself, right? And specifically for the Typhoons, the Eurofighters, right? So they are a little bit more specific on some of the variants where the Eurofighter will appear. So for the Deutsch, right, the Germans, and of course the Italians, they say it's going to be for the Germans, the Eurofighter in some version of the Tranche 1, and for the Italians, the F2008 Typhoon Tranche 1. So in a general sense, and in the British as well, they're going to talk about later, expect a very early model. The Tranche 1, if you don't know, it's basically the initial production models of the Typhoon, right? They do not have the capabilities, for example, in the German one, to use the IRIS-T model of an air-to-air missile, IR missile, right? So they would use only the AIM-9LIs probably, or AIM-9M, and the AIM-120, right? And for the Italians, it would be kind of the same. So nothing too big that would make a lot of difference and bring too many things. Is it going to be able to do air to ground or not? Well, in theory, yes, but we need to wait and see how capable it will be. Why? Because in the British one, they updated between the Typhoon Mark II, the F2, or the FGR-4, right? In both Tranche 1 variants. So this is the main update that they did, right? So it's gonna be between the F2 and the FGR-4. So what are the differences between these two? Again, they are Tranche 1, so they're gonna be a very early model. So don't expect anything too different. Although the British one in the Tranche 1, according to most sources, can already take the SRAM missile, the AIM-132. Don't expect that missile to come anytime soon. It's too strong for now, and they kind of denied already the IRIS-T as well, so it means that we're not gonna see the next generation of IR missiles coming in these updates. So expect the same level of AIM-9Ms and of course the AIM-120 as the main missiles, but there are differences. They said, like I said, it is going to be between the Typhoon F2 and the FGR-4. And what is the main difference? It is kind of difficult to find really the main differences between the two, but there are some that are just out there that you can actually draw some conclusions out of it. The main one is the air-to-ground capability. There are even some sources that claim that the F2 doesn't carry IRIS-T, it doesn't have infrared search and track, but the Pirate, right? But I don't know, some other sources claim that it can in the FGR-4 as well, right? So I wouldn't doubt that they will add the IRIS-T. It doesn't matter what variant it comes along, but the main thing would be the air-to-ground capability. Like I said, we don't expect anything to be added in the next gen terms of IR missiles, so as rams and stuff like that. We will probably not see anything like that, but with the AIM-120s, AIM-9Ls, M9Ms and stuff being just normal missiles for these aircraft, the main change would be that the F2 would almost not see too many things integrated to do air-to-ground. It's not that it cannot do air-to-ground, it would do. Some sources even claim that it can use the paveways, unguided stuff like that. But the FGR-4 is the one that I think is the most interesting, and we might see something like the Italians and the Germans having an Eurofighter that doesn't have a lot of capabilities in the air-to-ground, but then the British having an upgraded model with the FGR-4 that can carry anything. So I already talked a little bit about it in what you can expect from that aircraft, but the FGR-4 would be one that could carry, for example, the advanced paveways, the brimstones, the spear missile, the storm shadow, the alarm, and some other little things here and there, right? So at the end of the day, it would be a more upgraded aircraft to do air-to-ground in a general sense, right? Like I said, doesn't mean that the F2 and the older models cannot do air-to-ground. No, it doesn't mean that. But at the same time, it is a pretty big difference if you don't have a brimstone, for example, or advanced paveways or anything like that. Yeah, they are kind of specific on the leak right now, which is kind of interesting to see. Like I said, it's something that flew under my radar, so it might be old news for you, but I decided to do the video anyway because maybe you didn't see this. So expect very, very early Eurofighters to come, obviously, especially for the Germans and the Italians. For example, the German Eurofighter, if I'm not mistaken, it doesn't have an IRST, right? So it's something that it would be different between the aircraft. And of course, the British are the ones that have the most variants in the terms of what it can be added in different variants, in different flavors of the aircraft, basically, right? So expect the Typhoon F2 or FGR4 in any way of a Tranche 1 being added for all countries, and yeah, for the British as well. So I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe. Leave a comment what you think about the variants. Do you think the Typhoon should be added as an earlier model? I don't know if you know this, but the earlier models just didn't have a lot of air-to-ground capabilities, and they eventually added them. So yeah, the more advanced versions we see now, the less variants we will have later to be added, right? So let me know in the comments what you think about this. Should we see the F2 for the British or the FGR with the full capabilities of brimstones and everything? Let me know in the comments. I see you guys on the next one. Subscribe, as I said, click the like button, and bye guys, see you.